How is everyone doing? This is episode 27 of Sit Down with Sniper, and I brought one of my good friends on here because I've been super excited to talk to him. So, without further ado, how you doing, Harvey?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to be on here at last.
Yo, man, I'm so excited to have you on here. So, to really just break it all down, I want to start off with talking about your project, then we'll hop
hmm
into kind of what you did before that, and then just go through the history. So, to begin with it, let us know the name of your project and when it first came out.
So I'm the artist and founder behind Blocks, which was released in February of this year, so February 2022. And yeah, it's a 1,000 piece collection. There's a bunch of collabs, a bunch of cool, unique pieces. I was working on it for ages prior to release, and since then, I guess I've just been working on blocks related things and other stuff in the works and that. But yeah, Blocks is the main project that I work on.
So I've seen your art style, and I have to say it's very, very unique.
Thank you.
Anytime you draw anything, of course, it's in the block style. So
Yep.
what would start this whole style, and at what age did you start doing this technique that you've developed?
Well, it's all kind of fairly recent. I started I made my first my Twitter account in 2020, so it was like a month before COVID hit. And blocks didn't exist yet, so it's like 2 years ago. And I was just sort of doodling and going from there, and then probably about a few months in, I started drawing like kind of geometric shapes and messing around with that. And I was looking a lot at like George Condo. If you know Condo, you'll know sort of the influence is quite high for me. And other artists like that. Um, and then yeah, I was just kind of doodling on paper. I started all of my work before around about like August 2020 was physical work, so like drawing with markers and pens and pencils. And then I got the iPad, and the first drawing that I did, like full drawing that I ended up finishing, ended up being a blocks piece. I did a Igor Tyler Creator's album. I recreated Igor in blocks, and then I was like, oh damn, it's quite cool. So I kind of just went with it from there, to be honest. But yeah, you can, if you look at like my Instagram, for instance, you can see a build up of like progression towards where I'm at now with the style. If that makes sense.
No, it does. And I've seen the Igor picture as well, and I really like that one. That's one of my favorites. I've seen some of the different ones
Thank
that
you.
you've done, not only in blocks, but your overall work, and I'm a big fan.
hmm
I do want to say, whenever it comes to doing the art, you now have the blocks project. What were you doing before NFTs? I know you said you were making physical pieces. How long have you been
hmm
doing that again? You said since 2020?
Yeah, 2020. I was doing art before 2020, but it was mainly just like stuff in school and the occasional few doodles. But I wasn't really taking it seriously until like 2020, when I was like, I want to try and pursue this. And then I got by to the end of the year, and I was like, okay, I can keep going, and then yeah, get to the point where I'm at now. Fortunately.
So whenever you would do these physical pieces, what would be the introduction to the NFT world and bring you over to this side? I know that you said whenever you got the iPad that you would start drawing on there, but what was there anything that introduced you to NFTs before making your own project?
Yeah, I had quite a lucky route in, to be honest. So I was, drawing on physical work, and then started working digitally, and then I posted a few digital originals and in August of 2020. So I was, it's quite early in the terms of NFTs. And from Super Rare actually reached out to me and was like, oh, these are really cool, you should like come on Super Rare. And I was like, oh, what's that? And then she explained NFTs to me, and I did some research. I think I spoke to Fuocious and Etienne about it because I seen they were doing it, and I was kind of like, oh, I can't make money from digital work. I don't know how that works, because I was like trying to sell physicals, and I'd sell like one or two here and there. Like I barely sold that many, so I was like, surely I can't sell my digitals now. That doesn't make any sense. And then I looked into it, and I was like, okay, it's like legit. This is a thing. And then gave it a shot. Had the interview with Super Rare, went well. Got on Super Rare. Sold my first NFT. I think it was like 20th of August 2020, so it's like almost yeah, about 2 years ago. And then I remember like selling that and being like, what's just happened? I think I sold for like 2 ETH or something. I was like, what's just happened? And then like cashing the money out straight away. I had no, I should have held it looking back, but I had no clue at the time. And then I just remember like seeing it like hit my bank and being like, oh my God, what's going on? I actually sold a piece of work. Um, so yeah, I got quite a lucky route in. I got like message from Anne, which I'm grateful about. And then I think it was literally like a few months later, it's like super started blowing up, and I was like, oh, I'm like thankful that I got in so early. But yeah, there's a little bit of the history behind how I kind of got into it.
Yo, I love that, man. And so, damn, that's crazy. What would be, I guess, what has it been like for someone who would go and sell a physical piece, one or two here and there, and then come onto the NFT scene and immediately almost sell digital art? How is that feeling for you, knowing that like people are starting to really latch on to what you do?
Was it's quite surreal, like especially now. Like I feel like 2 years ago it was just like insane, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, and I'd sell like a one-on-one here and there, like one a month sort of thing, and it would be like, what is going on? Like what is my life? And then but then now it's like, I launched blocks and it's done really well and sold out, and I'm just like, this just it's still like it's hard to comprehend that like people like buy your work in any capacity, let alone like NFTs. So I know at the start it was definitely a hard one to get my head around, but and also hard to explain to like my family and friends who had no clue about NFTs at the time. Trying to explain to like my mum and dad that, yeah, I just sold a piece for like a good amount of money that's going to pay my rent and stuff, and they're like, oh cool, and I'm like, yeah, it was digital, and they're like, what? um but yeah, it's good and good now as well with blocks, because I've been able to pair like digital and physical and have a mix of both with that, which is something that I enjoy doing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, that's beautiful. I love that. So whenever you made blocks, I've seen a lot of people gravitate towards what you've done. You have a great community over there. I did want to ask you how you felt about having so many people on your Discord, having these people behind you, and just having a super strong community, especially in the conditions that we're in now with the market, just a lot of things being down.
Yeah, especially well especially with the market as it is right now, I'm even more appreciative of the people that support my work, and the community that the blocks has is like unreal. They're just the best group of people. Like I can't wait to meet them in New York next month, because of some of the greatest people, and the fact that like folk are just still supporting strong and still supporting me and my art and what we're doing is great, despite the fact that the market's in shambles at the moment. But we're all moving through it and trying our best to push through the little blips. But it happens.
It definitely happens, man. And I can tell you right now, the market being in shambles has a lot of people on the edge of their seats. But
Yeah, I know.
I'm here for the ride, man. I can't complain. But you mentioned a
Yeah.
good point. You mentioned NYC. So I
Hmm.
will be at NFT NYC. And for those that are listening who may or may not know you, or may not know, will you be at NFT NYC, and what can we expect?
Yes, I'm coming. I'm coming to NFT NYC. I'm making the flight from Scotland. I'm coming all the way out. Me and my girlfriend are going to come over. I'll probably be at a lot of events like the Vinny Starcatchers, Whiskers one. I'll be there, and there'll be other things. I'll be at the actual NFT NYC event as well, probably. And I'm hosting my own blocks event, which I'm excited about. We just started filling up. I made like a guest list for it because got like quite a tight capacity. It's only like a um, smallish in terms of the scale that I'm sure a lot of parties and events will be on. Um, but we're like 80% full already, which is great. So I'm really excited to host an event and meet everyone and give away a bunch of cool art related things. And yeah, but yeah, I'll be there in New York. I'm coming for 3 weeks. I'm here for the long haul.
Dude, 3 weeks is that you're doing like what Jeff Govey and them are doing. They're going for about 3 weeks or something similar. I did want to ask you, is this going to be your first time not only in the States, but maybe first time in New York?
Yep, first time out of Europe. For me, I've never been to America, never been to the States. Only been abroad a few times to, like I've been to like Spain and Germany and stuff, and I've not been as far as the States. But I'm excited. It's going to be
Dude,
a surreal
yes.
experience, especially with all that's going on as well.
Oh my God, dude, that makes me so excited. You're gonna have a blast because I'm gonna tell you what,
Yeah,
NYC is definitely a movie to say the least. That
yeah.
place is wild. You're gonna be on the subways. I will also be at the Starcatchers event. They're gonna have a great event at Edge or the Edge. I can't remember, but
Hmm.
it's a great place in New York City with like 100 stories up. So I'm really
Yeah,
excited
it's
for that.
crazy.
But damn, dude, I'm so excited to see you out there. So whenever you've made blocks, and we'll go back to what
Hmm.
you've been doing with that, what are your visions for the future? So I know a lot of these people come and go whenever it comes to projects. We've seen a lot of people pop up, promise a lot of things, and then
Hmm.
fall off. I never felt like blocks just came through and overpromised anything. You've always kept it straight how it is. If something comes, you let us know. But
Hmm.
what have you been preparing for the future? Are you just trying to settle through this bear market and then attack, or are you just going like the market never I guess went into shambles?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of things like in the works and things that I want to do. I've got a lot of ambitions with blocks. It's the good thing with blocks as a project is it's like unlike like you see many projects like where people can come and go, but for me, like blocks is pretty much the word I now use for my style anyway. So blocks is never going to really go away because it's just the art I do. So regardless of what happens, I'm still going to be working with and around blocks. But I've got some cool ideas I want to do. I want to do a lot of like I've got ideas for gallery related things I want to do, and kind of taking it further with like clothing related things and yeah, physicals, and I'll be probably work on more blocks related like collection stuff down the line. And I've also got a few other things that are like not directly blocks related, but they tie in quite nicely that I'm working on. But I don't want to go too much into detail about that. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like a roadmap, I guess I don't really like to overpromise with things like that. The roadmap for us has just always been like art, and that's kind of all about that. So we'll just kind of keep going and keep providing cool art and cool things, and hopefully more cool events like the one we're doing next month, and then going from there. But I can promise that Blocks isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yo, I love that. I love that you can reassure and just the conviction you have towards blocks. Because I can say every time I see you on Twitter, if it's not a physical piece or a digital piece or previous pieces that you've done, you're always working, and you seem to love drawing, painting, whatever
Yeah,
it
man.
may be. You absolutely love art. So I've noticed that a lot about you and the whole blocks community. So
Hmm.
what
Good.
has it been like being over in Scotland with NFTs? Is it an area where a lot of people are also into it, or do you feel like you're kind of a needle in a haystack over there?
Yeah, there's like barely any people here that even understand it at all. I mean, just based on the fact that like I briefly mentioned this in the spaces last night and before jumping the call. Me and Caitlin are trying to sort out a house, and like trying to explain what I do is so confusing to like people, and anyone that just doesn't understand it is just confusing to explain. And in Scotland, it's not like a big thing. I think I know like I've a small handful of people. I could probably name on one hand that do NFTs or know about NFTs in Scotland. It's a very small community, but I'm sure there'll be probably loads of folk that I've not spoken to. But it's nothing like what the American scene is and will be in New York next month. Nothing like that.
Dude, I'm so anxious to see now. Like, as soon as I see you in New York, I'm gonna ask you first question, like, what has your experience been like? Because I know it's just gonna be out of
Yeah,
this world for you.
yeah, yeah. It's
Um,
going to be a total culture shock. I'm coming from small town in Scotland. I'm going to be in the big New York City meeting all these people. It's going to be pretty surreal.
and for 3 weeks, man, that is not
Yeah, I
a
know.
short
I
time,
know.
dude.
I know.
Oh my God.
Pretty much a
So
month.
Yeah, I know, close to a month. And I did want to ask you, even though I have the 5 questions later on in the podcast that I usually do,
Mhm.
I did want to ask you a couple, like, as someone who has a project, founder and artist, how do you feel about the way that the market is going right now? Do you believe in long-term NFTs? I know you believe in art long
Mhm.
term. Um, I feel a lot of people do, especially the artists and founders in these spaces. But how do you feel about NFTs as a whole moving along? I mean, we've seen bear markets before. I think this is the biggest one we've seen in this space. So
Mhm.
how are you thinking about it right now?
I don't know. I'm like kind of split. I'm my opinions is kind of split. I think I believe in obviously I believe in art, and I think NFTs are not going anywhere anytime soon. And I believe in the longevity of NFTs as a whole. But I guess I think that the behavior around like NFTs is probably due like a switch up pretty soon. You get like the whole whitelist craze and people like jumping on things like that, and then obviously we'll have all these problems with Discord's getting hacked and scams. And I do think that the market that we're in right now is probably a good thing for NFTs as a whole. It's almost like a cleanse. Like it kind of cleanses out a bunch of obviously it's bad for people as well as it affects everyone. But in long term, I think like it could end up working as a bit of a cleanse and hopefully like um work for the good of NFTs rather than the short term um, precautions and stuff that happen. But yeah, I think they're definitely gonna last, but it's just the thing, people's mindsets will have to rejig around things where it comes to the way that whitelists are sorted out the and all that sort of stuff. It's a bit of a I don't know. It can be a bit what's the word? I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't know if I'm coming across like portraying this across as I'm thinking it. If that makes sense. Um,
I think you're doing a good job of it. I know that for me with these projects, it seems like the same copy paste over and
yeah,
over.
there's a
Something
lot of
has to change.
there's a lot of oversaturation in the market, but that was kind of bound to happen. And like I guess my point was saying that due to a market like this at the moment, it kind of cuts down the amount of the crazy oversaturation that we had even just a few months ago. And I think in the long term, only the ones that want to be there for reasons beyond money or you know personal gains like that will stay. Like I know that blocks will remain, and other projects that we work with, like Atomo or Vinny and all these other amazing projects will keep pushing through. But there has been like a problem with I guess any successful medium is that the oversaturation has been crazy. Like I swear, like I've spoken about this before, but a few months ago, I think I seen on like a Twitter ad for like a doodle ape derivative, and I was like, I can't be bothered with this. Like, come on now.
the
There's
the
so many,
derivatives
but
got out of hand.
yeah, they
Derivatives
really
got
did.
so far out of hand that I mean, people were just doing anything, and someone would buy into it just because that's how the market was, and that's
Mhm.
when I should have took it as a red flag. Like, yo, everything is being bought. Whether it's getting flipped, dumped, rugged. Like it don't matter what it is. There's not even meanings behind these, which actually pushes me to ask you what has been like your motivation to just be yourself and be different and just keep this path going forward and knowing like, yo, we're here for the long haul. Like, how do you go about
Mm.
something like that?
Well, there's multiple motivations behind it. I know that I did a few small collections at the back of last year. Like I did like August, and then I did one in September and November, I think, or October maybe. And they were like the start of me doing collections opposed to one-on-ones, which I still do as well. And then I knew I wanted to create like a bigger piece, a bigger body of work, and get a bunch of family and friends and artists involved, which I'm fortunate enough to have done and it go pretty successfully. We had like 50 collabs in blocks, which is probably the proudest thing about the whole project is the fact that I was able to get in a bunch of family and friends um, and and promote their work and get them involved and pay them all as well, which was good. Um, But motivation wise, I know that I just wanted to create like a good body work, a good body of artistic work, and a good community behind it as well. And then also, obviously, it's like, you know, I made profit from it, which I've now been able to put towards me and my future, and which has bought me time to be able to invest more time into blocks. And now I'm lucky enough to be able to do this full time, and every day that I wake up and try and do art and push the project forward, or work on other things, which is good. But the community is one of the biggest things that's came out of it, which I didn't actually really entirely kind of expect to begin with, because it was quite slow. Like, it kind of happened really slowly. It was like, you know, we went from like having like, you know, like you know, 40, 50 people in the Discord, and then slowly building it up until like got to like 1,000, and then so on and so forth. And now we've got this really like strong base of people that are supporting the project, and always showing love, and I'll be able to meet them in a month, which is cool. And the motivations to continue is just the fact that you know, I love it. I just love what I do, and I love everything around it. I mean, it's literally like, to put into sort of perspective, blocks is literally like, at this point, it's like my whole life at the moment is just like, I wake up and I'm always wearing blocks t-shirts, and I'm drawing stuff with blocks, or doing art, or like, you know, I've got on my desk at the moment, I've got stickers on my desk and coasters that I'm drawing for New York and all this stuff. So it's kind of everything at this point, which is a good thing.
Yo, let's go. My favorite thing about these events is whenever people bring the stickers, the pins, the merch.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that stuff. So I'm super excited for that. And I think something that also should be highlighted is the fact that one thing I've noticed throughout this entire podcast is that you are very humble and very thankful for your endeavors through the space. Like, anytime you mention your community, or that you've gotten money to help yourself, you've always followed it up with, you're very thankful for that you've been in this position. And I just want to say, I think that's very amazing. That, I mean, not only do you speak about these things, but like, you have reassured many times that, I mean, I think you're very humble about it, man. And I love that about you. You're not a selfish person at all. So I did want to highlight that.
Yeah, I'm just
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm just glad in the position to be in. Like, I might, you know, the past week and a half, I've been complaining about the fact that like I'm struggling with, like, you know, like to get this mortgage sorted, because of the fact that I'm doing crypto and it's a pain in the arse. But I'm very grateful that like these are the problems that I have at the moment. And it was, you know, it's, you know, 2 years ago, like I was, you know, just started uni, didn't have that much money, and to be like where I am now, where I feel quite comfortable with everything that's going on. Like, you've got to be grateful for the people that help you get there, and support you through that. And the fact that I get to do it with art is like amazing.
I mean, that's a huge thing, man. I mean, that's one thing I've noticed in this space. A lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot of people or anyone specific for that matter, but I have seen people release these projects or even do stuff for the community, and I'm just like, yo, like they either disappear or they don't seem very thankful. And I'm just like, dang, man, that's crazy. Not to tell no one they should live their life a certain way, but just knowing that, you know, you actually look at everything. Anytime someone helps you out, anytime you do something, you're super like thankful. And to know that people have helped you go further in life. You said 2 years ago you didn't have a lot of money. Now you're a little bit more comfortable. That's beautiful, bro. And I mean, I think you're one of the deserving people in the space, you know, that deserve to get the money to help them. A lot of people see this and they're like, oh man, another project founder just got a lot of money. But you know, that's only looking at it like that whenever you have the negative people in the space. So to know that you've been rewarded for all the positivity that you've brought, all the happiness that you brought, I love that, man. And one more before we jump into the 5, what has it been like overall? Like, where are you now? Are you, I try to ask people, are you good? Not only mentally, physically, are you healthy? Are you feeling comfortable now doing what you do, rather than how you may have felt a couple months ago or even a couple weeks ago? I know you were worried about the mortgage, and you even said you're blessed to have problems like that now, but
Yeah.
but is Harvey okay overall? And is there anything that we can do to help you?
No, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I'd say I'm in a quite a like a, almost like a transitional period where I've just started working full time within art and NFTs and Web3 and all that as of like 2 months ago. So it's still all quite new. Still learning quite a lot. Obviously, I don't really have like a cemented like location to work from yet. I'm kind of here and there at the moment, but that's fine. So I'd say I'm a bit of a transitional period, but still enjoying what I'm doing, and things are they are looking up. Like hopefully, me and Caitlin can sort out this housing situation, and then we'll have a hopefully have a nice wee place that we can call home, and I can work from permanently, and then we're sort of all sorted. But in terms of like art as well, like I mean, next month for New York, I'm going to be hosting an event. I got my art in Times Square, which is insane. I'll be doing a mural, meeting all these people. So it's probably like the best position I've ever been in with my art. So yeah, I'm pretty good position. Nothing's ever fully perfect, especially when you're an artist. Everything can, you're always nitpicky about things that can be better or work on, and there's always things that I still want to do and achieve. But going pretty good. I'd say I'm happy with where I am, even if it's a bit of a transitional period.
Okay, good. That's one thing I've been wanting to do more on this podcast, because not only on this podcast, but in this space, we have a lot of friends in this space, and it's easy to overlook whenever someone might be having a bad day, or if someone has been recently having a bad week, because the time moves so quickly in NFTs than it does in the real world, we like to say. So I always want to try to check up on my friends and the people that we love more in this community, just because you never know what's going on behind a profile picture, and we always need to make sure our friends are doing good. So I love that, man, and I love that you are in this position and that things have been looking up, and I know that you're going to get a beautiful house and have a lovely workspace. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
And not to
excited.
forget, you did say that you will be doing a mural in NFT, correct?
Yes. I'll be doing a mural with Jeff and Football Critter legends, and I think Mina from Wonder Pals and DOS, I think, are the ones confirmed, and I'm sure there'll be a bunch of other great artists doing that. I think it'd be pretty similar to the LA event that they did, I think. So I'm pretty excited about that. A bit nervous because I've never done a mural before. Literally just today bought some spray paint to go do some practice versions so that I'm not totally out of my depth, but I'll have a little practice done before. But I've got my idea sorted, so I think I'll be good.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that you're practicing. Like, and don't be nervous. I think I don't quote me on this, listeners, but I think that was Mina's first time doing a mural
Was
in
it?
LA. Yeah, and
All
I
right,
think
good.
that was a couple of people's first time doing a mural, because whenever Jeff got there late, uh did his so quick and got done before everybody, and it was just,
Yeah,
I
he's
was like
a
mind
beast.
blown. He was a beast with it. But you will also be doing art next to F dot.
Oh, I thought so as well. Cool.
Yes, F dot will be
That's good.
there. He is confirmed to be doing the mural. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
That's a
I'm
big
really
legend.
excited. Yeah, he's a legend with the art. Vinny might be there. I'm not sure who all he's contacted. Jay Vaughn,
Hmm.
I know on one of the episodes he said that he would love to do a mural, so I reached out to him,
Nice.
and if he would like to, he knows that he has the opportunity. So yeah, it's going to be a really good time. I encourage everyone listening to definitely come to NFT NYC, and if you are there, I definitely encourage to stop by the mural. While they do that, it's a
Hmm.
time where a bunch of artists are basically on one wall, and we basically just watch them hang around, have a great time. I went to the one in LA. Jeff also hosted that one with some of the other artists that will be in NYC, and it was just a vibe, man. I literally missed my flight because of Dose, but I wouldn't have had it any other way because it was amazing. But jumping into the 5 questions, some of these are hard, some of these are easy.
Right.
I have a feeling I might know some of your answers, but to start it off,
Okay.
these are the same 5 questions I tell everybody on the podcast. And with number one, it has to be, what is the most important thing to Harvey?
Family.
Family.
Yeah.
Anybody
Has to be.
specific in the family?
just everyone in my family. I'm quite fortunate to have quite a close knit family where that's you know, my family, my mum and my dad and stepdad and granny granddad, or even now Caitlin's family and her grandparents. I'm quite lucky that way. I'd say family and then art is a close second.
Oh yeah, man, I like that. I feel like as I've asked the number one question, which was that one, a lot of people are starting to say family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and just to say, these questions do not just have to be NFT related. They also can have answers like you just said, family, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so number two, what is an obstacle that you have overcome that has helped you get to where you are today in regular life, and or with NFTs?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know if I can like think of one specific obstacle that I've tackled. It's mainly just little things here and there.
It
Like
could be little, it could be big, it could be something as little as I overslept yesterday and today I woke up early.
yeah, yeah. Well, trying to get a routine is one that I'm not quite fully sorted yet. But I'd say the main obstacle I can think of that I've recently kind of tackled is trying to get a bit more out of my like comfort zone with things. Like I was comfortably in uni doing architecture as of like March, and then like February, March, and then blocks started to do well, and I was like, screw it, I'm just going to take the plunge. I could have finished this year, which I would have finished up right now, but I thought, oh, I don't even want to anymore. I want to just take this full time. So that was like an obstacle that I was like, finally just was like, yeah, you know what, I don't need it. I'm gonna just focus on working on art. So I guess that's one that pops to mind. And there's always the small things like, yeah, getting a routine and trying to go on consistent runs and being healthy and all that sort of stuff, which we're all trying with. But yeah.
Yo, wait, so okay, I actually didn't know this. You were in school to be an architect?
Yeah, so when I started doing, this would have made sense to when I was speaking about the history of getting into it. I started uni to be an architect in 2019. So when I started doing art properly, it was 2020. So I just sort of within my first year of uni, and then I dropped out 2 and a bit months ago. So I would have just finished my third year, but I ended up saying, nah, screw that, I'll do art instead.
Yo, that is crazy. And honestly, seeing blocks, I don't know if this will make sense to other people or even to you, but blocks as an idea in art totally makes sense to me now because you were once going to school for
It's
archaeology.
you know it's funny, right? I get that comparison all the time because blocks is building and architecture is building, and it's very easily like side by side. It makes sense. But the funny thing is, whenever I've thought about doing art, and especially with this style, like the last thing I've thought about when doing it has been architecture. I don't know if it's been subconsciously, like it's just happened, but whenever like uni's like been work, like very being like that's work, and then this, and then art is the hobby. So it's fun. It's funny how they've kind of like almost coincided now. But it's good now to look back and be like, all right, yeah, I feel like I can actually take inspiration from architecture now because I don't have to, like, I don't have any deadlines to worry about, which is good.
Yo, that is my mind is blown right now. I don't know if the listeners know who Virgil Abloh is, who
Yep.
yeah, so he was anyone who does know him, who unfortunately recently passed away, he always does very weird to some people, very interesting designs. But a lot of people don't know that he too went to school for archaeology. That would be the correct word, right? Archaeology,
Architecture.
architecture. So he also went to
Yeah.
school for architecture, and that's why his designs are so intricate. And anytime he's designed a car for Maybach or Mercedes Benz, they've been really, really, really interesting designs for those cars. But knowing that what he's done, it's like it all makes sense. So now, dude, even if it was subconsciously, I feel like it's definitely there. Like I love it, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually blown away by this fact. Okay, let me jump into number three before I get carried
All
away.
right.
Um, when Harvey leaves the house to go out, what are at least 2 to 3 necessities that you have to bring with you. And you can't say, well, you can, but try not to say like phone, keys,
Okay.
wallet.
Well,
That's something we all got to bring.
it's a big difference. Is this like a day to day going out, or is it like going a bit further? Because if I'm
Oh, damn. You're the first
There's a
person
big
to ever ask
difference.
that. Oh my God.
Am I bringing a rucksack, a bag, or not? Like depends.
Oh, damn.
It really
Dude.
depends. Because I'll give you
Oh,
both, right?
okay, okay, fair enough.
If I'm going out normally, right, it literally is just phone, keys, wallet. Like that's literally it. But if I'm going like somewhere, where I'm bringing a bag, then the main necessity that I need to make sure is with me is my iPad. I'm not taking my iPad when I'm going out to get lunch, but if I'm going anywhere a little bit further and there's any travel in between, I'll probably take my iPad.
Oh, dude. So one thing, I love the answer. And I feel like a lot of artists that have came on here have said or have told me in other places that it's always an iPad or their drawing utensil that they have to bring with them 24/7. So I definitely should have known as Harvey loving art that he always has an iPad on him. And for two,
Most things.
you just really wrecked my head because now I have to fix the template for the questions because you're right. I don't know if I'm asking a regular day or a night going out, but I feel like a night going out would result in very interesting answers. So I like that. I think I'm gonna go with that one for now on.
Yeah, because it's different. It's different depending on where I'm going. If it's just day to day, I'll probably bring my phone, wallet, keys, and like a bottle of water. I won't need my iPad going uptown to get lunch or whatever. But if I'm getting on a train or I'm going anywhere for a bit longer, then my iPad's coming with me and that sort of stuff.
Okay, I like that one. Fair enough. Fair enough. You got me on this one. Okay, 1-0 Harvey Sniper. Okay, number 4.
That's my
What?
technicality. Yeah.
Yeah. What is one thing that you would like to do before you get too old?
Oh, oh God, there's so many things I want to do.
And
Um,
if you have a couple that you know, you can list off a couple by all means.
all right. Well, I've got art goals that I want to do. Like I want to host my own gallery space. I guess these are more like things I want to do in the next few years. I want to work in sculpture. I keep saying this. I want to do something in bronze, like a big blocks like skull in bronze. It looks so cool, and it's in my mind, and I can't get rid of it. And then also, I guess before I get too old, I want to do a load of traveling. Like I want to when I'm at that point where I'm like, yeah, I'm too old to travel. I want to be like, okay, but I've seen the world. Like I want to be able to say that I've seen the world and I've done things. So yeah, that and make a big bronze sculpture. The things that come to mind.
Honestly, how do you sculpt a bronze
I have no
figure?
clue. I would assume you'd make a mold and then like I don't know, you'd need a smelter and pour it on, or I have no clue. I don't know how to do it. I'll have to ask my dad. He probably know, but it's an idea and it's like a picture of like when you go to a gallery, you've got those like kind of big rectangle boxes and they've got sculptures on it. I've just got this
Yes.
picture in my head of like this big rectangle box with my little or big bronze or silver skull on it, and it's like made out of blocks. And it looks amazing. I can't get out of my head. I keep speaking about it on spaces. I need to just make it happen, but I have no clue where to start. But
Do that,
there's that.
Harvey.
That's a really specific thing that I want to do, and then also travel the world, which is very, very, bit larger. But yeah.
I definitely want to travel the world. And let me ask you real quick, what is one place specifically, your dream place that you would like to visit?
Oh, I don't know. Um, I don't know. There's so many places I'd like to go to. I'd like to go to Australia. I'd like to spend like a summer in Australia. That would be really good.
No,
There's so
them are
much to
two biggest
Australia.
spiders, bro. There's spiders
Yeah, the
there are,
spiders are massive.
dude.
Yeah, but then at least you can see them coming. Like, I get crept up on by little quick little spiders that are crawling across the walls here. At least you see them coming
Ah,
in Australia.
that's
But
the
yeah,
thing that scares me is I
that's
see
so
them
nice.
coming.
Yeah, it's true. But then you can run. Um, but Australia is one that came to mind. Where else would I like to go? Literally, like there's so many places. I want to go to a cold country, right? As well. I'm not. That would be a hard one to convince Caitlin to come because she's always really cold. But I'd like to go to like an Iceland or Norway or something and see the Northern Lights. So that'd be something.
Dude, that would be beautiful to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, yeah, they look like that's like a that's a bucket list. You tick that off the list. Where else? Egypt. I'd like to go see the pyramids. Very basic answer that one, but the pyramids are very cool. And after watching Moon Knight, it's made me want to go even more. So
No, we don't
yeah,
have no
there's
basic answers on here, man. I like them all. I like
that's
them all.
that's three pretty good answers. Australia, Egypt, and like Iceland. They're all quite different.
Okay, okay.
That would be good holidays.
So I like the traveling. That's definitely one thing that I've been trying to do. This year I should be able to say that I've been to Miami, London. I mean Miami, New York, and Los Angeles. I wish I could say I've been
Good.
to London. So I'm trying to mark the things off my list. And I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard anyone in my life say that they want to make a bronze sculpture. And honestly, I think that's
Yeah,
amazing because that's shooting high.
yeah,
I don't think people realize like that's a great goal to have, honestly, and you can realistically do it. That's not unachievable.
yeah. I think I could do that. I think it's a very doable goal. I had it in my I wrote goals at the start of the year, and it was in my goals to do this year. And I don't know if I'll get it done this year, but I'd like to do it at some point. And whether I'd also like to do sculptures on like totally varying scales, like when you're in a city and they got those massive big sculptures. I'd like to do a massive one as well, but I'm gonna start small with like an achievable size before I start thinking about designing big,
Nah, man, you got
Goliath
big
size.
dreams. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine seeing a big 30-foot blocks character just
Oh,
standing there.
it would be scenes. I could just imagine like finishing it off and then taking a nice little photo in front of the end. That'd be so buzzing.
Dude, I mean, I'll tell you what, we're gonna speak it into existence. I think it's gonna happen. I
Uh,
don't care what nobody says.
it's gonna happen. It's happening. It's happening. At some point, I'll make it happen.
I love it. So the last and final question, which is a little different. You can say all blocks if you want to, but if I
Oh,
gave you 200 ETH and you had to spend it on NFTs only,
okay.
what are some big purchases or plays
Oh,
you
I
would
like
make?
this question. What would I buy? I'd probably buy a load of stuff. I would buy some blocks, but that is based on bias. I would buy a few cool cats. I'd probably load up on things like lemons and loser clubs and thingdums. Like I load up on them, especially at the moment. What else would I buy? Like I don't want like a board ape or anything like that. I don't think I'd go for. I'll buy a doodle. I'll buy a doodle. I like doodles.
Okay.
And then I'll probably stack up on like art from friends I like. I'll probably go buy a bunch of one-on-ones. From art friends that have been in blocks and without and out with blocks as well. And what else would I buy? God, there's so many. There's actually so much stuff I'd probably spend money on. If you get, especially you give me 200 ETH, I'd go on a mad like spending spree.
That's
God,
what's
what else would I
crazy about the
buy?
question is because on whenever I first made the question, the market wasn't as bad as it is. So now 200 ETH will take you a long damn way.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. You for 200 ETH, you could buy like a load, a big load of NFTs. That's why I was saying I'd load up on like thingdoms and lemons and sort of stuff at the moment. Just buy a bunch. Oh yeah, there's so many, but I'd probably go. I'd really enjoy myself anyway. I'd have a really good like. I reckon I'd do that in a night. I just go crazy.
I mean,
Might as well.
I think what cool pets are around. If cool pets were like point 0.3, that's like 666 cool pets for 200
Oh
ETH. Like that's oh my.
my
The
god.
same with loser club. If loser club was point 0.3, you could pick up 333 loser clubs for
I
100
mean,
ETH.
you could buy the whole blocks floor for that price. The whole blocks. I think I checked today. There's only like 80 listed. Like, it's super low at the moment, which is great. So you can buy the whole blocks floor.
You
Which
could
is
literally just clean it out.
yeah, I'd be tempted at that as well, but I'd be more inclined to spend it on friends and other collections, even if that thought that would come into my mind.
Oh my god! I mean, that's a lot of ETH. So,
That
I
is a lot
mean,
of me.
Harvey, we've finished with the 5 questions. We've hit the history of what you've done. what it's been like being an artist and founder of Blocks. But before we wrap it up, is there anything that you really want to tell the listeners and really want to drive home? And basically, if they could take anything away from this podcast, what is one thing that you would like for them to know, whether it's about you,
Um,
the project, or just overall?
I'd say if I was one thing I'd leave this conversation with is that you should support artists and projects from people that you believe in, and they're the people that you want to invest in, whether that's whether that's me or all the people that I like to support. I think they're the safest bets with your time and money, and I always keep saying that invest in artists and roadmaps where the end goal is just art, and you will not be disappointed. And in terms of things, I'd say, I guess, come to New York, and I'll draw on something for you, because that's what I'm excited for. I'll draw on
Oh
your
yeah.
book or something, or your phone case. I don't know.
I mean, I'll have something for you to draw on. You can draw on it.
Good.
Benny, Klon, everybody can draw on it. I'm excited. But
Yeah, that's that. I guess that's what I'm leaving on. Come to New York at the very end. Just come New York. Come to the Blocks event.
come to New
Come
York.
hang out with us. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a vibe. I do encourage everyone
Yeah.
listening in to come out to New York. It's going to be an extremely fun time. Like I told Harvey before we did this call, I seen a tweet come out today with a spreadsheet, and it was anywhere from 45 to 55 events so
I'm
far.
looking at it right now. It's
Yeah.
about 50 events. It's gonna be a stacked week.
Dude, it's
Stacked week.
loaded. And that's why I encourage everyone to come out, because you will be making some great friends. It is a great time to network. And based off what I seen at LA, which was only a fraction of what NFT NYC will be, you need to be there if you're in NFTs and can afford to be out there. So I highly encourage everyone listening to try to get out there next month.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, Harvey, brother, I can't thank you enough for coming on here. I'm super excited to see you in NYC. Super excited for you to, jump into the US and just be able to hang with all of us.
Yeah.
But dude, it's been amazing. And I'm so looking forward to what you're doing with Blocks, whether it's more art, more physicals, more merch, not to mention the merch that I have seen you put out and wear is pretty sick. So big shout out to you on that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one of the things that I pride myself on, and I've been working on for a while to get it right, and it's now that sweet spot where I'm loving where it's at, and I'm always wearing Blocks merch. I'll be pretty much in it most days when you see me. Maybe it's a surprise if you don't see me wearing anything that's Blocks related.
That's how I was wearing my podcast stuff. I was like, I have to rock my own stuff, right? Like,
it's how it goes. It's how it goes. You just have to.
You got to rep it. But I mean,
I know.
Harvey, like I said, man, it's been great. I can't thank you enough. And for the listeners listening in, before we go, I encourage you all to find Harvey on social media. You can find him on Twitter. I will have him linked on the tweet whenever I post this Monday. I definitely encourage everyone listening to go check out the Blocks Discord, check out their Twitter, go hang in there. It's a great community. But with that being said, this will do it. And it's been episode 27 of Sit Down with Sniper. We will be seeing you next week. And the guest next week is actually going to be the Worm NFT. So I'm very excited to talk to them, see what they're doing with the project, talk about what they're going to be doing at NFT NYC. But for everyone listening, y'all have a great day. Enjoy your week. We'll see you Monday, next Monday, the Monday after that, and so on. Yeah, y'all have a good one and see ya.
See you.